Welcome to Ventichic, the ultimate destination where those with billionaire aspirations come for a dose of inspiration. Imagine stepping into an Omega boutique where the likelihood of leaving with a Speedmaster gracing your wrist is high, even though it might dent your wallet. The same can't be said for Rolex's Daytona unless you're ready to shell out extra for the privilege of owning one in precious metals. But could a shift in the course of history be imminent? Absolutely. Let's take a different angle. The question shouldn't be, is history about to change? Instead, it could be, is history about to repeat itself? The Daytona might be the coveted wrist accessory these days, or rather, for a good few decades now. Yet, that wasn't always the situation. Believe it or not, there was a phase when the Daytona was regarded as somewhat lackluster. Picture this, there was a time when the Daytona didn't even exist. Well, that's the plain truth, but here's the twist. There was a phase when the Speedmaster was around while the Daytona wasn't. Back then, Omega, the Swiss watchmaking giant, was leading the pack with its 1957 triple threat professional collection, the Railmaster, Seamaster, and Speedmaster. This move was set to be a game changer against Rolex, who had already launched the Submariner. The underdog company strategically introduced a genuine dive watch before its major rival. Omega might not have had the swiftness, but it certainly had the power, presenting all three professional timepieces to Rolex simultaneously. The real game changer was the Speedmaster. This was an era pre-computer assisted design, automated manufacturing, and other technologies that empowered smaller companies to innovate new movements. Unlike Rolex, which could quickly release several watches based on the telegraph design, like the Submariner and GMT Master, it was constrained by the movements provided by suppliers, a whirlwind of change. Omega took a different route. With sufficient funds, it collaborated with Lemania, a movement manufacturer, to create the 321 chronograph movement from scratch. This fresh caliber included advanced elements like lateral clutch column wheel anti-shock technology that was beyond Rolex's grasp for in-house development. To illustrate the enormity of this endeavor, even prominent brands like Audemars Piguet and Patek Philippe employed the 321 under license, rather than crafting their own movements. Presently, Patek Philippe stands as the sole one of the trio to have progressed beyond it. Imagine the sheer surprise that must have gripped Rolex when the Speedmaster made its entrance, a substantial and robust sports watch that seemed to outshine everything in its path. In comparison, Rolex's own 6238 appeared rather frail and caught in the past, desperately in need of a transformation. This pressing need for change was not lost on Rolex's founder Hans Wilsdorf, who understood that swift action was imperative. Unfortunately, destiny had other plans, as Wilsdorf's passing occurred before he could enact any changes. His departure, however, marked the beginning of a challenging period for Rolex, a period that would eventually lead to improvement. Do you find this video helpful? Drop a like if you do, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family so they can benefit from it too. Going back, while we might automatically think of the Cosmograph Daytona as a sought-after timepiece, its history tells a different tale. With the Speedmaster achieving the monumental feat of being chosen by NASA, the new Rolex chronograph found itself in a somewhat uncertain position. Potential buyers were hesitant, and even jewelry retailers were reluctant to stock it. There are even anecdotes of Daytonas being handed out as incentives for other purchases. This was a time when Omega's leadership likely reveled in their success. However, Omega's capacity to invest substantially in solutions ended up contributing to its vulnerability, especially as affordable quartz technology gained ground over the subsequent decades. In a desperate bid to stay technologically relevant, Omega tried a multitude of approaches, ranging from diversification to innovation, all in an effort to combat the looming threat of quartz technology. However, these attempts inadvertently diluted the brand's core identity and led to pursuits that weren't sustainable in the long run. Struggling to bring down production costs to compete with the inexpensive quartz watches flooding the market, Omega faced challenges that a Swiss watch company of its stature couldn't easily overcome. On the other hand, Rolex faced a similar challenge but took a more calculated approach. While not completely dismissing the technological shifts, Rolex maintained a strategic restraint in its responses. This limited but focused strategy enabled Rolex to weather the storm without compromising its brand integrity. As mechanical watches experienced a resurgence in popularity, Rolex's reputation as a collector's favorite grew stronger. With the resurgence of interest in traditional watchmaking, Rolex found itself in an advantageous position. The brand's steadfast commitment to quality, craftsmanship, and its iconic designs became increasingly attractive to enthusiasts. Rolex's steady path paid off, cementing its status as a beacon of reliability and luxury in the world of horology. Let's revisit the question. Could history be on the brink of repeating itself? Over time, Omega has garnered significant attention through its association with the moonwatch aspect of the Speedmaster, causing us to overlook the watch's original purpose as a sports timepiece for activities like motor racing. This historical context sheds light on the existence of the Speedmaster Racing Collection, which was designed to cater to this specific sporting niche. Notably, parallels between the Speedmaster Racing and the Daytona are striking, evident in how the initial cosmograph drew inspiration from the Speedmaster's robust case, external bezel, and clean dial. If you're finding this video helpful, consider joining our community by subscribing and enabling the notification bell. We're always sharing exciting updates and exclusive content with our awesome subscribers. The tables have turned, with Omega now finding inspiration. Both the contemporary Daytona 116500LN and the Speedmaster Racing showcase ceramic bezels, white dials with black-rimmed subdials, and a touch of color. Surprisingly, their movements are closely aligned, despite Rolex's caliber 4130 predating Omega's 9900 by about a decade. However, Rolex's innovative design has sustained its relevance. While differences exist, Rolex's 72-hour power reserve surpasses Omega's 60. Omega employs a silicon balance spring while Rolex uses Paraflex, and Rolex holds COSC certification compared to Omega's Metas. These two watches undeniably stand united. Such parallels are unlikely to be mere coincidence, but here's the question. Does that suffice? When everything's balanced, why choose Omega over Rolex? For starters, it's significantly more affordable at £6,320 over £3,000 less, plus it's obtainable, unlike many Rolexes. Rolex has historically led the high-end watch sector as it did with dive watches, and the Speedmaster joins Omega's recent lineup aimed at outdoing Rolex. This strategy worked before. Who's to say it won't succeed once again? If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. If there are specific watches you'd like us to review, please share your suggestions in the comment section below. And that concludes our discussion for now. Thank you for joining us at Ventichic, and make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on upcoming videos. Until next time.